Anna and Daniel had built a life of quiet contentment in the heart of Winchester. Their home was a modest but elegant townhouse nestled between rows of ancient stone buildings and blooming gardens. Without children to occupy their days, the couple focused on their careers and the small pleasures of everyday life. Anna was a curator at the city's historical museum, her days filled with artifacts and stories from the past. Daniel worked as an architect, shaping the future one design at a time. Together, they enjoyed peaceful evenings with fine wine and soft music, away from the hustle of the city. On one clear spring afternoon, Daniel received an unexpected message on his phone. The name that appeared made his heart hesitate for a moment. Claire. His first love. A woman from a chapter he had long closed. Anna noticed the sudden change in Daniel's expression but chose to say nothing. She trusted him. For now. Days passed and the quiet rhythm of their lives remained unbroken. Then, as if summoned by fate, Claire arrived in Winchester. She said she wanted to visit the museum and catch up with Daniel after so many years. Anna agreed to meet her, curious yet wary of the unease that lingered in the air. That evening, Daniel was distant. He paced the rooms of their home, avoiding Anna's gaze. A secret hung between them, heavy and unspoken. Anna's trust began to falter, but she kept her questions locked away, waiting for answers that might never come. Claire's arrival in Winchester was as unexpected as a sudden storm on a calm day. She carried with her an air of mystery that unsettled Anna from the very first moment. They met at the museum, a place Anna had always found comforting and safe. Claire's presence changed that feeling instantly. There was something in her eyes, a mixture of nostalgia and something darker, that Anna could not place. Claire spoke carefully, revealing only fragments of her life since she and Daniel parted ways. She mentioned moving to various cities, a failed marriage, and a desire to reconnect. But the pauses in her story were longer than the words she spoke. Anna watched Daniel closely. His face was unreadable as he listened to Claire's soft voice. Occasionally, a flicker of emotion would cross his eyes, regret, guilt, or perhaps fear. After their meeting, Daniel grew more withdrawn. He stopped sharing details of his days and avoided Anna's attempts to draw him closer. The house, once filled with laughter and light conversation, felt colder, heavier. Anna's thoughts spun like a whirlwind. What had Claire really come for? Why had Daniel changed so much? And most importantly, what secrets did they both hide? Determined to protect what was left of her life, Anna began to observe more closely, to question more deeply. She knew the answers would not come easily, but she was ready to face whatever truth awaited beneath the surface of their carefully constructed world. The days that followed Claire's arrival were filled with an unsettling tension. Winchester's usual calm seemed to waver like a candle flame in the wind, fragile and flickering. Anna found herself constantly distracted, her mind tangled in questions she dared not voice aloud. Daniel, once open and warm, became a man of silence and shadows. He left the house early, returning late, often with a distant look in his eyes that Anna could not penetrate. She tried to reach out, to break through the wall that had grown between them, but every attempt was met with polite but firm distance. One evening, Anna noticed Daniel's phone buzz repeatedly. When she glanced, she caught Claire's name flashing on the screen. A cold knot tightened in her stomach. The past was no longer just a story, it was bleeding into their present. Determined to understand, Anna began to dig into the fragments of Claire's past she could find. Old social media posts, mutual acquaintances, even subtle mentions from Daniel himself, each piece was a thread leading to a tapestry of secrets that no one had wanted to reveal. At work, Anna tried to focus on the museum's upcoming exhibition, but her thoughts kept drifting back to the quiet phone calls Daniel made, to the way Claire seemed to haunt every corner of their lives. The staff whispered about seeing Claire in town, asking questions that seemed innocent but carried an edge of something more sinister. One rainy afternoon, Anna decided to confront Claire directly. They met at a small cafe on the edge of town, the kind of place with faded wooden tables and the scent of strong coffee lingering in the air. Claire's smile was warm but guarded. Her eyes flickered with a mixture of relief and hesitation. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," Claire said softly. "I just needed answers, and maybe a chance to make things right." Anna held her gaze steady. "What exactly do you want from Daniel?" "From us?" Claire's silence stretched, heavy and accusing. Sometimes the past isn't ready to stay buried. Returning home, Anna sensed that the peaceful life she once knew was unraveling. The cracks beneath the surface were widening, threatening to expose truths that could change everything forever. The nights grew longer and heavier in the house Anna shared with Daniel. Sleep became a distant memory as shadows crept in, not just from the fading light outside but from the secrets lurking between them. Daniel's silence was no longer just cold, it felt like a barrier, a fortress guarding a truth Anna feared to uncover yet could no longer ignore. She found herself listening to every footstep, every hushed conversation carried out in rooms down the hall. One evening, as rain lashed against the windows, Anna caught a glimpse of Daniel's phone screen left unattended on the kitchen counter. A message preview appeared, "We need to talk. It's urgent." It was from Claire. Her heart hammered with a mixture of dread and determination. How deep did this secret go? What was Daniel hiding in the shadows of their life? Determined to find answers, Anna started piecing together moments she had previously dismissed. Late-night phone calls, unexplained trips to the outskirts of town, and Claire's increasingly frequent appearances painted a picture far more complicated than she had imagined. Anna's trusted circle began to shrink as she kept the turmoil inside, afraid of the consequences if the truth were revealed too soon. One night, unable to bear the weight any longer, Anna followed Daniel after he left the house. The streets of Winchester were quiet, soaked in rain and mist, as she trailed him at a distance. He arrived at a small, run-down house on the edge of town, a place Anna had never seen before. Through the fogged glass, she saw Daniel meeting Claire. Their conversation was low and intense, voices barely above a whisper. Faces marked by emotion, regret, and something darker that neither dared speak aloud. That night, Anna realized that the life she thought she knew was merely a fragile illusion. The past was no longer buried, it was alive, demanding to be confronted, and she had to decide whether to fight for her marriage or to walk away before it consumed her completely. The tension that had quietly grown between Anna and Daniel reached a tipping point. Every glance, every word exchanged seemed to carry hidden meanings, unspoken accusations lingering in the air like a dense fog. Anna felt herself standing at a crossroads, torn between holding onto the familiar life she had built and stepping into the unknown that beckoned with painful clarity. One afternoon, Daniel finally broke his silence. His voice was low, heavy with regret. "Anna, there are things you don't know. Things I never wanted you to find out like this." Anna's heart clenched. She waited, bracing for the truth that had shadowed their days. Daniel confessed fragments of a past he had buried deep, a secret relationship with Claire that had never truly ended, complicated feelings that had resurfaced with her return. He spoke of mistakes made, promises broken, and the struggle to reconcile the man he wanted to be with the past that still haunted him. Anna listened, her emotions a whirlwind of pain, anger, and reluctant understanding. The foundation of their marriage had cracked, but beneath the rubble lay a choice: repair what was broken or let it crumble completely. The children were no longer part of this story, a new focus on the adults who must decide their future. In the days that followed, Anna wrestled with her feelings. She sought solace in quiet walks through Winchester's ancient streets, trying to find clarity in the whispered history around her. Conversations with close friends offered comfort but no easy answers. The future was uncertain, and the path forward was hers alone to decide. As Daniel reached out, hoping for forgiveness, Anna knew the journey ahead would test her strength and resolve in ways she had never imagined. Days turned into restless nights for Anna. The weight of Daniel's confession settled heavily upon her, but the storm inside her was far from over. The comfortable life she once believed in now felt like a fragile glass vase, teetering on the edge of shattering. Her thoughts wrestled with memories of love, trust, and betrayal, weaving a complicated tapestry that left her breathless and unsure. Anna began to realize that some wounds, no matter how deep, could be the source of unexpected strength. As she walked through Winchester's narrow cobbled streets, the ancient stones beneath her feet seemed to whisper stories of resilience and renewal. She found herself standing before the old cathedral, its towering spires reaching into the grey sky, a silent reminder that even the grandest structures endure weather and time. The conversations with Claire, Daniel, and even herself became moments of reckoning. Claire's presence had ignited hidden truths, but it was Anna's own courage that would shape what came next. She acknowledged the pain but refused to let it define her. Instead, she began to envision a future where her happiness did not depend on shadows from the past. At home, the atmosphere remained tense but shifted subtly. Daniel, too, seemed to understand that change was inevitable. He gave Anna space and time, stepping back to allow her to navigate the difficult emotions that stirred within. Their interactions became less about secrets and more about honest attempts to communicate, even if the road ahead was uncertain. Anna reached out to friends and found unexpected support. Their encouragement reminded her that strength often comes from connection, from knowing she was not alone in her struggles. She started to rebuild, piece by piece, creating a new foundation for her life, one built on self-respect, clarity, and the courage to walk forward, whether with or without Daniel. The choice was no longer about holding on or letting go. It was about finding peace in the truth and trusting herself to make the right decision. Winchester's skies had grown heavy with spring rain, the soft patter against windows a soothing backdrop to the changes stirring within Anna. The city's ancient charm seemed to mirror her own transformation, weathered, yet quietly hopeful. Each day brought new challenges, but also small victories. Anna found herself reclaiming pieces of who she once was, and discovering parts she had never known. She returned to her old passion for painting, setting up a small studio in a sunlit corner of their home. Colors and brushes became her sanctuary, a place where her emotions could flow freely without judgment or fear. Her art began to reflect the complexity of her journey, strokes of light and shadow intertwined, a visual testament to resilience and growth. Daniel, though still present in her life, became less the center of her world. Their conversations, once heavy with tension, shifted to moments of genuine connection, however tentative. They agreed on one thing: their children deserved peace, no matter what the future held. Anna's focus was clear: to build a stable, loving environment for them, and to nurture her own spirit in the process. One afternoon, as rain fell steadily outside, Anna received a letter. It was from Claire, unexpectedly candid and apologetic. Claire expressed a desire to make amends, to clear the air not just for Daniel, but for Anna as well. Anna considered the letter carefully. Forgiveness was not immediate, nor easy, but the act of reaching out stirred something in her, a glimmer of hope for closure and understanding. As spring unfolded, Anna embraced the uncertainty. She walked through the rain-soaked streets of Winchester with new strength, ready to face whatever lay ahead, grounded in the knowledge that her future was hers to shape. The first light of dawn cast a gentle glow over Winchester, washing the city in soft hues of gold and rose. For Anna, it was more than the start of a new day, it symbolized the quiet triumph of healing and hope. Months of turmoil had led her here, to a place where the past no longer held dominion over her heart and mind. The journey had been neither swift nor easy. Anna had faced moments of doubt, fear, and deep sorrow, but also discovered reserves of strength she never knew she possessed. She had learned to forgive, not for others, but for herself, to free her spirit from the heavy chains of resentment and pain. Daniel's presence remained a complex thread woven into her life's fabric. They had reached a fragile understanding, a true spawn of mutual respect and the shared desire to protect their family. Though their paths might diverge, the bond they shared through their history and children was enduring. Anna stood by the window, watching the awakening city. The streets were beginning to stir, the soft murmur of life returning after the night's quiet. She felt a calm resolve settle within her. Her future was hers to shape, no longer shadowed by secrets or doubts. With a steady breath, Anna turned away from the window and stepped into the day, ready to embrace whatever awaited her. The dawn was hers, bright, open, and full of promise.